cricket happenings. I know it's not it's not becoming a daily cricket show of late due to various reasons, house commitments, office commitments, and so. But I apologize. But I'm going to make up for it. So that's the reason I'm here. This on a Saturday for all my loyal followers of this cricket show to bring you the action. So as far as cricket action goes, the first thing that I'll be looking at is India's defeat, it on taking 4 wickets, which also included the very big scalp of the Indian captain Virat Kohli, and he would be treasuring that forever. And also Rohit Sharma once again got into the century act in an ODI against Australia, and he went big with 133, but that was still not enough for India to win the match. In India, in the end, losing the first ODI by 34 runs. The Pakistan versus South Africa, we are going into, it was day 2, and in day 2, the Pakistans did not do anything good with the bat after doing a good job with the ball the other day to ball out the South Africans for 200, and they were bowled out for 185. There was a period when in a space of 16 were 135 for 5 struggling, but with the cushion of the lead, the score at 212. And looking at the way the pitch is being played, even on a third day pitch, on the second day itself, we saw a real shooter claim the wicket of Zubair Hamza, the debutant. So looking into that, one probably feels that Pakistan will have the hands full, and once again they will have that sort of a fear that the match does not get ended up on the third day, because I don't think this pitch is something where Pakistan are going to enjoy. Well, nevertheless, so that is something. And then we have a look at the last match of the Sri Lankan tour of New Zealand, which went with a whimper for them throughout. They finished the series on a sore note without a single win on the tour when they lost the final match of the tour, which was a T20 match against New Zealand, where Doug Bracewell, who came back into the team, was named man. Scott Coughlan, who is the praise bowler about it. But I did remember during my days when I used to follow cricket very closely during my youthful days, there was a player by the name Chris Coughlan, and I believe this bloke should be maybe the son of Chris Coughlan. One does not know. That I just wanted to share. I do remember Chris Coughlan did not play a lot of matches, probably a handful of matches, and then one did not hear his name at all in the New Zealand squad. And nevertheless, so these are the 3 things that I have for you today as far as the cricket action goes. And let's get started here, and let's first head towards the match between the first between Australia and India runs. So looking at the Aussies are clean bowling Aaron Finch for 6 of 11 balls, was very impressive. I thought he really played Kumar and pace bowler very well, and he was in absolutely no spot of bother. And one was really impressed with the way Alex Carey carried on. He really very well, according to me. And the problem started for him as soon as spin took center stage, when Kuldeep Yadav actually carried to have a sharp cut at a delivery, which was leaving him and Rohit Sharma. And at first slip, Rohit Sharma took a wonderful catch as Carey was gone for 24 of 31, 5 fours. It was a period of consolidation for the Aussies. Usman Khawaja and Sean Marsh actually sad about get things back in favor for Australia. They did a fine job. Usman Khawaja's contribution being 50 and 81 deliveries, and Usman Khawaja Jadeja for 15, Marsh for 4 fours, which was a consolidation phase. And then they had Hanscom walking in, and Hanscom also initially took his time, but when the time came, he really opened out splendidly by hitting the spinners for fours and sixes, and he was very severe on anything which was at drivable length. And Hanscom contribution was 73, very good contribution at that. 73 of 61 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Stoinis made an unbeaten 47 of 43 deliveries, 2 4s and 2 6s. Maxwell played a very limited part in it as he remained not out on 11 of 5 deliveries, 1 4, as the Aussies finished on a very challenging total, one thought, of 288 for 5. If you look at the Indian bowling, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 10 overs, 2 for 66. Khalil Ahmed looked a bit out of sorts, one could say. 8 overs, none for 55. Mohammad Shami, 10 overs, none for 46, did well. Kuldeep Yadav, 10 overs, 254. Jadeja, 10 overs, 148. And Ambati Rayudu, 2 overs, none for 13. Now, India were given a target of 10 runs to go and win this match, and they were in all sorts of trouble as Jason Behendorf, the left-arm seamer, was making his debut, and he had Shikhar Dhawan plumb in front with the delivery that nipped back. So he was gone for naught. And after that, Virat Kohli, captain, entered the Sydney cricket ground amidst a loud round of applause. But I'm sorry to say that Jai Richardson, the young pace bowler, is a very promising pace bowler at that. I wouldn't really give credit to the delivery that Richardson bowled. It was just one of those days where Virat Kohli trying to flick a delivery to a half volley on the leg stump, and Virat Kohli tried to tried to flick the delivery, and he flicked it straight into the hands of Stoinis because it was really going at some good pace, and Stoinis took Virat Kohli, and the crowd absolutely was stunned into silence when Virat Kohli's wicket was taken. Caught Stoinis bowled Richardson for 3, and that over, Richardson carried on when Richardson got, but this time he beat Ambati Rayudu for absolute pace, which is known for, as Ambati Rayudu in the same over was LBW for naught to leave the Indian innings teetering at 4 for 3, and there was a very sorry situation, and one saw Mahendra Singh Dhoni slowly striding in to join Rohit Sharma, who was looking good at the crease at that particular juncture. Looking at what happened, stroking the, and a good job. It was 137 run part. Took it over at Dhoni, probably unlucky, but Dhoni was given LBW. But the Indians review that for the simple reason that the Indians had burned out the review. So it was a trifle unlucky, but I thought it was a turning point. He established himself, and things were looking good. So I thought that was the turning point of the game when Mahendra Singh Dhoni departed. LBW bowled Behendorf for 51 of 96 deliveries, 3 4s and 1 6. After that, they still had some batting to come in the form of Karthik and Jadeja, but both Karthik and Jadeja were a sort of a disappointment, as Jai Richardson, who had already shown some good pace and some nice energy, came back in for his second spell and disposed of both Karthik and Jadeja with some nice short deliveries, with Karthik out for 12, clean bowled for 12 of 21 deliveries, and Jadeja out for 8, caught by Marsh, 8 of 13, and that left India in the score at 213 for 6 with Rohit Sharma. But Rohit Sharma, as I said, is for India. He had 133 to his name. Stoinis was the one who picked this wicket when Rohit Sharma, trying to hit a 6 of the bowling of Stoinis, was caught in the day. 133 of 129 deliveries, which included 10 4s and 6 wonderful 6s. And then fight was almost over once Rohit Sharma had left the scene. But Bhuvneshwar Kumar showed a lot of pluck there, sticking on and still continuing the chase. And finally, at the 50 over, 34 runs and a well-deserved victory at that. Looking at the bowling, Jason Behendorf, the left-arm seamer, making his debut, was very impressive. He had, I believe, Jason Behendorf had already made his debut in a T20 match against India and was pretty effective as well. But today in the ODIs, this was his first ODI, and he did a wonderful job. 10 overs, 2 minutes, 39 runs, 2 wickets, runs. and he picked up 4 wickets. Siddle was 1 for 48, was costly on his comeback. Northern Line 10 was 1 minute and none for 50. 66 the costliest. It was the South African first, and they were 129 going to for you. But South Africans lost 7 wickets for, and were bowled out in the first innings for 282 as far as this in the second test match, and they were bowled out on the so definitely the Pakistan doing a wonderful job there, looking very impressive. Odd runs, missing his maiden test run on debut, which you would be happy about. But it was a pretty impressive innings from the young debutant. After that, we saw Ashraf, Hassan Ali all skyping African lineup, and the South Africans were bowled out for 263 for 33 runs, which probably has happened, which has normally happened to the Pakistanis in this whole series, but this is the first time that the Pakistani ball came to the fore. I mean, 2 wickets, Mohammad Abbas, 2 wickets, 275 for really could not come forward all of the series. And the contributions from Pakistan consisted of Imam ul Haq making 43, but it was from both Babar Azam and Sarfraz Ahmed. Babar Azam winning that round of battle with Dale Steyn as he stroked him 2 overs. So Babar Azam has been having the wood over Dale Steyn for quite some time now in the series. 49 was his contribution, 10 fours. And as I already told you, Babar Azam is the future of Pakistan cricket. Sarfraz Ahmed also did a good job playing in his own aggressive vein to make 58 boundaries. And that was only, it was all over. Once Babar Azam and Sarfraz Ahmed were dismissed, all 16 runs and 5 wickets going for Pakistan. As Pakistan were bowled up for 185, thus conceding a 77 runs lead to the South Africans. And South Africa in their second big win with Mohammad Amir and Mohammad Abbas dismissing of the openers Dean Elgar and Markram pretty quickly. But De Bruyne was a victim of Fahim Ashraf. That tomorrow is the third day, and Pakistan, even though they would be chasing a total, they have to be pretty wary because this pitch is already playing through it. Because the ball from Fahim Ashraf kept so low, it will be a tough effort. But definitely they were doing well in the second innings to reduce South Africans to 135 for 5. Bahuma going to shut up Khan, essentially meaning the match to the fourth day. It was only because of the rain. I had like assignment for Pakistan. Let's have a look at the last 2 match of the Sri Lankan tour of New Zealand, which was a T20 match. In the ODI series, as you know, they picked up the early wickets, but when it came to the death overs, they were caught, they were strangled. And a similar thing happened over here. In fact, they had the New Zealand innings on the absolutely on the ropes with the New Zealand score reading 5th on his comeback game. Ross Taylor made a compact 33 or 53, 2 fours, 1 6. But it was all about Doug Brace hammering 44 of 20 deliveries. And so he had the company from, as I said, Scott Coughlan, who's a very good, who has some extreme pace in his deliveries. But he really was a sort of a surprise packet as it was Doug Bracewell and Coughlan really taking on the Sri Lankan bowlers. And there was a period where Bracewell and Coughlan went after the spinners and hammered 9 sixes between them, which was a treat to watch. And Coughlan, in his very first dig in international cricket, was an unbeaten 36, and that was tremendously done because, as I said, he was playing his first ever match, 35-15 deliveries, 1 4 and 4 sixes. Doug Bracewell 44 of 26 deliveries, 1 4 and 5 sixes, and to a score of 107 thanks to that big hitting coming from the debutant Coughlan and Doug Bracewell. Sri Lanka and than that, it was a very tough situation for the Sri Lankans, with the New Zealand bowlers bowling extremely well. Rocky Ferguson, in particular, the wicket that he took up was a real beauty. He got the ball to shape in between the pad and pad gap of Dhananjaya to disturb the timber. 3 overs, none, 3 for 21 for Ferguson. And that was the end of it. But England had already done a good job with the bat. 3 overs, 1 for 27 for Mitchell Santner, returning back to international cricket. Plug Bracewell back. And this particular, and this was the Sri Lankan tour of New Zealand. And I have to say that the Sri Lankans have really been not up to the mark at all, which was pretty sad, as the Sri Lankans lost every match and they could not win a single match on the tour of New Zealand as they returned home. So, well, dear fans, friends, and subscribers, it's about time for me to wind up this daily cricket show of mine today by promising you with more to come tomorrow. That's on a Sunday on my Cricket Happening show. Till such time, that